Hey, what's up guys? It's Toxic here. And today I want to talk about something I noticed that is really interesting and hopefully, can change. Okay? So, I don't know how many of you guys have noticed, right? But if you take a look at some of the brand new limiteds we got during the sale, as well as Dominus Formiculosis, you can notice a very strong connection between the Formiculosis and all these items versus some of the other items that you can see literally right next to them on the recently updated page. And that, of course, is the limited use sign versus the limited sign. And I know there's a lot of people who might not know the difference between the two. Let me just take the Ice Valkyrie as an example, and let me just grab the Dragon Slayer's Sword and Shield for another example, right? So let's take a look at the two. So the Ice Valkyrie, right? It's a limited, and if you hover over it, it says discontinued item, resellable. And if you scroll down, 2,368 sold for 20,000 original price. And this item was on a timer. And once that timer ran out, this item went limited. Versus the Dragon Slayer's Sword and Shield, for example, which just had 750 original price. And it had a set quantity to be sold, which is 1,000. So once it hit 1,000 sales, it went limited. And you could no longer buy it for the 750. And it became part of, the whole limited experience, as in, the price goes up if it's a cool item or whatever. You know the deal. You know how limiteds work. And if you hover over, it actually says serialized limited release, which means that even though it has a set amount, it also has a serial number attached to every single copy. So, for example, if you like serial number 1s, you could get serial number 1, which I don't think is obtainable anymore for this item, which is interesting. Or let's say you like serial number 11, so you could go offer to this guy, BKERR, tell him, hey, I want your Dragon Slayer's Sword and Shield, and I'll give you whatever amount for it, right? So these are two completely different things, right? And a good example of it not being on a timer is the Infernal Undead Immortal Sword, which has been on sale for over a year. You can see it was released on October 12th, 2018 at 3 p.m. So I just want you guys to just think about it, right? October 12th. Today is December 4th. So basically, this item has been on sale for almost a year and 2 months. And it's nowhere near sold out. It's only sold 2,200 copies. And there's still another 29,000 to go almost. So these are the two main differences, right? And even though I said that this one was on a timer, some items, like for example, Chill Cat, is a perfect example because this item was not on a timer. It was just on sale like a normal item, and it eventually went limited, and it had 335,000 copies sold. Same thing with the Shaggy and all that other stuff, right? And basically, you could see there is a very big difference between these two items right there, like the two different types. And if you take a look, Roblox has not released a limited U since February, which is, coincidentally the last time they released limiteds. For example, we have Torque the Blue Orc, Disgraced Baroness, and Emerald Valkyrie. Two of them, the Baroness and the Torque, suffered a very similar issue. For some reason, these two items, despite having sold out their quantity, or almost sold out, I think it was like 999, for example, for the Torque, it was 999 out of 1,000, and then it got stuck. And this one just sat there, and it was on sale. And if you had enough Robux, you could get it for free. Like, it didn't charge you because technically it wasn't supposed to be on sale. Technically, it wasn't supposed to have a price, basically. And what this meant is that this item basically had a lot more copies than originally intended. If you just scroll through, you can see a lot of them are serialized. And then there are some that just say serial NA because these were extra copies that were never meant to exist in the first place. And you can see so many serial NAs are just sitting here because this is how many, extra copies got released. And the same thing happened with the Baroness, except this one was a 50,000 original price item. It was meant to have 100 original copies. I don't know why it says 102. That's actually weird. Some items do that though. Like sometimes it'll say 999 instead of 1,000, which is supposed to have, or 101 or 102 instead of 100. But that's aside from the point, because if we take a look, right? If we just scroll through the sellers of the Baroness, you can see a lot of copies are serial NA. In fact, if you actually scroll through the owners, if we go to the next page right here, we can see serial 100, right? If we scroll through, nothing past that is, a normal serial. All of these are serial NAs, which are copies that never meant to exist, and people got these copies for free, which is another big issue. Like, if you had to pay for it, at least, hey, people would all had to pay 50,000 Robux, and it wouldn't be so terrible. But these people all got it for free. Not these people who own it now, obviously, but these copies in general, they were gotten for free, meaning that these people could literally sell it for 0 Robux, and it would not matter to them because they didn't spend a dime on it. So I think that's also a contributing factor to why this is so terrible of an item. But yeah, and then we take a look at Emerald Valkyrie, which is another issue that limited use had, which honestly I don't think is ever going to be resolved unless you just stop making 50 quantities sold. But you can see this item, right? 50 quantities sold for 45,000 original price. If we scroll through, you can see it was created on 2/18 at 3 p.m. If we scroll through, you can see someone who owns number 49, 2/18, 3 p.m. Literally it was less than half a minute that this item sold out, just so you guys know. This item sold out in half a minute. You can see 3 o'clock, 3 seconds, 3 o'clock, 24 seconds for number 49. So you can see this item literally just sold out pretty much instantly. It was really hard to get this item, okay? And I just wanted to point that out because these could be the main reasons why limited use are not returning to Roblox anymore. One, they could have just not fixed the limited use system at all, and this glitched copy thing could still be around. Or B, Roblox is afraid of bots buying all the items just instantly. And honestly, I don't know which one it is, but you can see all of these items here, all of these brand new limited items, none of them are limited you. They're all just sitting here. They all had a timer, which basically meant that as long as you had the Robux within that timer, you could buy them, and then it would go limited, which we didn't even know would go limited. They never said any of these were going to go limited, so that's also another issue and a main difference. With a limited item, it was originally an item that was not limited, versus a limited you that has always been a limited, and when you buy it, you know for sure it's going to be a limited that you could resell and all that. For some of these, like for example, the main reason I didn't buy the 8-bit Immortal Sword over the Ice Valkyrie is that same reasoning. I was afraid this wasn't going to go limited, so I didn't want to potentially risk losing my money. So you can see these are just completely different types of items, and honestly, it's kind of interesting. I wonder if Roblox will ever say why they're not bringing them back, but I really doubt it. But I want to hear what you guys think. Why do you guys think that limited use have not returned to Roblox yet? Do you think maybe it's just too early for the return of limiteds? Maybe they're going to bring it back later? Do you think it's still broken? Do you think that the Infernal Undead Immortal Sword will get stuck when it's on its last copy? That's also something funny that I just thought of. Imagine this gets stuck. After years upon years of this thing selling, it eventually just gets stuck as well. I doubt it though. But yeah, I really don't know. Like, I'm lost, dude. I don't know why these haven't come back. I really think it's down to they didn't fix it, and also they're afraid of bots just buying everything. And they'd rather just give like 1 million copies of every item instead of, you know, potentially just letting bots buy it. But I want to hear what you guys have to say. Just let me know down in the comments. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time, and goodbye.